Greetings. Welcome to Rogue Dragon Speaks. Please give the channel a like and subscribe. And today we're going to look at the One Ring. This is the One Ring 2nd edition. The original version. There's also a 5e version you can get. And we'll take a look at Moria. That's the new campaign for it, and it's got solo rules in here. So there is a Strider mode that you can play, but this has its own solo. So there's a nice map of Middle Earth there. I don't think it's the whole. See, here's Moria. That is the whole Middle Earth. Yeah. I think most of the campaign modules are set in one part, but not. They haven't used the whole thing yet. So, one of the things that makes this really good for solo play is you can look. Like here, they have the adventuring phase, the fellowship phase, things like that, and what you're going to do. But this is a really well done book. The Lore Master, that's the DM. It's got a section. It's got adversaries. It doesn't have a big monster section, but it's got like the orcs, some undead, trolls, wolves, your basic stuff. And then it's got other adversaries in the modules and things. Here it explains the different areas in the world. Okay. There's a prologue. You're adventuring in the Third Age. You're adventuring in the time. It's after The Hobbit and before The Lord of the Rings. So let's look at the game structure. Still, I wonder if we shall ever be put into songs or tales. We're in one, of course, but I mean put into words, told by the fireside, or read out of a great big book with red and black letters years and years afterwards. Story building is a fundamental component of the One Ring. It isn't about hearing a story being told, but about creating it over the course of the game, as a result of the interaction between the lore master and the player heroes at the gaming table. To facilitate this creative interaction gameplay in the One Ring, it's structured into two distinct phases. The adventuring phase, usually taking the largest part of a session, or even multiple sessions, and a closing fellowship phase, addressing in detail what in other games is often called downtime. Following this structure, the gameplay will see the player heroes take part in a significant chain of events and follow them through to a conclusive resolution. The adventuring phase and the fellowship phase are discussed in detail later on, respectively in Chapter 6 and Chapter 7. Here follows a summary of what they are about. The adventuring phase. An adventuring phase session of play is played as a series of scenes connected sequentially in a wider narrative arc. A scene is a single episode focusing on the company or part of it, facing some kind of challenge, preparing from one, or recovering from it. It is up to the lore master to initially frame each scene, especially those that are putting the company in danger. And it goes on to detail about that. Talks about game time here. The fellowship phase. When the adventuring phase is concluded, a fellowship phase starts with players narrating what their characters do when they finally return from their adventuring to rest for a while. It is now the lore master's turn to act reactively by listening to the player's propositions and wishes and making sure that the rules are correctly applied. During a fellowship phase, the players present to the lore master their idea and intentions, for example, choosing where they are going to rest and deciding what they will do while they are there. During the fellowship phases, the players can choose one or more undertakings that let them perform downtime activities directly affecting the gameplay. And then we tie it all together. Okay. So let's look at the dice. Okay. As seen in the prologue, a game session of the One Ring takes the form of a continuous conversation among the playing group. There are no turns, and the dialogue alternates between the lore master and the players who collaborate in bringing to life a series of scenes in which the player heroes are the protagonist. Okay, the One Ring dice. A specialized set of dice including 6 six-sided dice, called success dice, and 2 12-sided dice, with 2 special icons, called the feat dice. Sold separately, the One Ring dice set contains exactly the right amount of dice for use with the game, but players may find it useful to bring some more, as it will be more convenient for each player to have a set close at hand. Okay, so if you have a set of regular dice, you can easily use them for the One Ring. Just remember that on the 12-sided feat dice, the 11 is the Eye of Sauron symbol, and the 12 is a Gandalf rune. On the 6-sided dice, the 6 has an elvish symbol, which represents an additional level of success. Okay, when to roll, talking about scenes in brief. Now here's something I wanted to see. Target numbers. All abilities used in the game are associated with a target number, a numerical value that the roll result must match or beat. Okay, so you roll high in this game. Most rolls are made by the player heroes against 3 attribute target numbers. Attribute 10 for short. Based on the ratings. Okay, strength, heart, and wits. So those are the 3. They only use 3 attributes in this game. And those are it. And then we have conditions. Miserable, weary, wounded. So if you are traveling and wounded, I guess you can be under certain conditions of fatigue. So dice rolls can be modified by 3 special conditions that can affect the player heroes. All conditions are recorded on the character sheet by checking the corresponding box. And that's it right there. And now this is making your character here, adventurers. He had a strange feeling as a slow, gurgling stream slipped by. His old life lay behind in the mist. Dark adventure lay in front. Really like this. This picture here is very, very Dark Soul-esque. Okay, your character. To create a character, each player must first choose a heroic culture, selecting one that is closest to the hero concept that they have in mind. And then here it has where you can read about the different cultures: Bardings, Dwarves, Elves, Hobbits, Men of Bree, Rangers of the North. All right. And the attributes, as we said before, strength, heart, and wit. And then here is your, I guess it's your background slash, Maybe, I don't know if it's a character class or an archetype in this game. But here's your stat bonuses, your attribute, the skills levels that you get with skills, suggestions for names. Very good pictures too. Dwarves of Durin, Folks, Elves of Linden, Hobbits of the Shire, the Men of Bree, and the Rangers of the North. I really like that picture of the Rangers. This is very good quality paper, by the way. It's very sturdy. And then we have things, the skills, the combat proficiency. This is interesting here. Standards of living. Okay, you could be poor, frugal, common, prosperous, or rich. Very rich. No culture on Middle Earth enjoys this level of prosperity, but it gives you your starting treasure rating, so I'm assuming you randomize that. War gear. This is these weapons, armor, with really good art, and kind of like the borders up here. I love the way this book is presented. And valor and wisdom. There is more in you of good than you know, child of the kindly West. Some courage and some wisdom blended in measure. Let's see. Let's see, adventuring phases, your combat, council held social encounters, and then journeying. So it's got like how to hex crawl. They get great art throughout this whole book. It's almost worth buying it just for the art alone. All right. The rules for traveling in the One Ring assume that the company is trying to reach a specific destination. If the company must visit a number of different locations, reaching each of them must be considered as a separate journey. As obvious as it may seem, the members of a traveling company must know at least approximately where their destination is located to be able to reach it. At the end of the Third Age, Middle Earth is a dangerous place, and the folks inhabiting it have long been sundered from each other, to the point that most people do not know the precise whereabouts of places just a few days away, if they are aware of their existence at all. So the front-end papers contain the player's map. We already looked at that. And represents the geographical lore of experienced adventurers. That is a deeper knowledge than that possessed by the average denizen of Eriador. So you have a traveling company of roles within the company. You have a guide who's in charge of the map, rest, and supplies. The hunter who finds food for you. Lookouts who keep watch. And a scout who's going to set up camp and open new trails. a marching test. You know, do stuff like that. I really like that. And the dragon. And then there's a section on your fellowship phase. There's your section for the lore master. Great drawing. So this is a really good game. I did some research on it. Do I want the 5e version or the real version? So first off, I'm thinking, I want to play 5e, I'll play 5e. And everyone says that this is more true to the Lord of the Rings than the 5e. So, based on that, appendices. Okay. Encountering Gandalf. So encountering different NPCs we know from the books, landmarks, Door of the Mist. We got a little. This adventure is just showing Star of the Mist. Okay, this is it's got a little adventure here for you. Very nice, very nice. Okay, and lastly, the character sheet. All right. So, now we got the One Ring, Moria, through the doors of Durin. So it's a big underground dwarven city, but it's huge. So the whole thing is a big, huge campaign because it's so big. You know, it's all those abandoned mines and stuff. So there is the map. And here's like a side view of the map. 20, looks like it goes all the way down to 22 levels. Wow. Okay. Look at the introduction. But I would not lead you into Moria if there were no hope of coming out again. In the days of old, men and elves and dwarves built great cities and fortresses against the shadow. Their names passed into legend. Nargothrond and Gondolin, Nogrod and Belegost, vanished Numenor, while their ruins lie drowned beneath the western sea. Of all those mighty works, only one survived to the Third Age, Khazad-dûm. Khazad-dûm. Next to it, the cities of Gondor are but newly built. Even the oldest trees in Thangor do not recall a time when the dwarves did not toil in the mountain, ancient of the halls of Durin. For it was Durin, called Deathless, who began the Dwarwood wealth, and Durin's heirs who dug deep and carved a city under stone. Their work began thousands of years ago, and though other hands and minds joined in the task, it is Durin's kin, the Longbeard dwarves, who have the chief claim to Khazad-dûm. To them, Moria is more than a bulwark against a hostile world, more than a source of wealth, more than a city. It is home, and they will never ever forget it. But they cannot go there. They cannot return. For though Khazad-dûm was the eldest and greatest of the fortresses of elves or men or dwarves in Middle-earth, it was not the eldest or greatest fortress in the land. For in the north, the enemy had raised yet taller walls and built nightmare halls greater than the dwarves could dream. The castle of Angband was mightier yet, and when the fortress fell, horrors of the enemy fled south to escape the wrath of the Valar. They hid beneath the roots of the mountains, and many centuries later, when the dwarves dug too deep, they woke the slumbering horrors. They woke Durin's bane, and the city fell. The dwarves fled, and ever since have wandered the world, dreaming of the day when they could return to the halls of the forefathers. For what is broken can be remade. All right. So, campaign focus, Moria and the wider world. Journeying in, drums in the deep, eye awareness. Like there's according to the size of your party and what you're doing, will you get the attention of the eye, and will you have more encounters? It's one of the mechanics in this game. And fell foes, orc stores, the Balrog, other foul things, ash wraiths, cave bats, marrow eaters, stone toads, tappers. So, all kinds of stuff. And these are all the different sections. The mansions of the dwarves, the dwarven delve, the vault, the mountains of Moria, the road, West Moria, the deeps. It's all in there. All this stuff, how to plan and undertake a mission. This is all solo play. Wow. So it's got a huge section on solo play, starting on page 189 and going to, here it says solo tools, but then the rest of this, that's underlying a section. That's going all the way down to through your fellowship phase and everything else. So we're going to make our way to page 189. So you don't need to get the Strider mode for this book. And it's got the same really nice calligraphy around it, and hopefully some good pictures. Rumors, landmarks, obscure landmarks. Okay. Okay. Journeys in the dark. The thing has two ribbons too. Boromir muttered under his breath. The echoing stone magnified the sound to a hoarse whisper that all could hear. In the deep places of the world, and thither we are going against my wish. Who will lead us now in this deadly dark? I love that art. That was really good artwork. And I guess is that the Balrog? The mansions of the dwarves. So that showed the gate and some locations. And oh, okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go, Old Moria. So for the rest of it, do we have to use that map at the front? That's the only question that I really have. Well, here's showing the whole thing. Excuse me. So each section has a map. And here we have a solo play. Reclaiming Khazad-dûm. With these guidelines and tools for solo play, you will explore Moria as a member of Balin's expedition. Leading an intrepid band of dwarves, you and your allies will face vast darkness and long-lost mysteries, entrenched foes and hidden perils, all in pursuit of a single lofty goal, to return to the heart of the Misty Mountains to its rightful keepers. Okay, so solo play is complementary to Strider mode. You can use Strider mode in addition to these guidelines, but from what I understand, you don't need Strider mode. And you can, it's like it's got ways that you can run a whole group, and then you have ways of doing battle with it. So, gathering allies. So, you begin your campaign with 6 allies in your band. You will have opportunities to recruit additional allies, bolstering your numbers or replacing those lost to the perils of Moria during the fellowship days. For now, generate your 6 allies by picking or rolling on the table below for each of them, and record their details on ally cards. Oh, okay. And then you have randomize your NPCs. They've thought of everything. Oh, here's the map, too, on the back there. I wonder if that's another map. So, lore table. This is like a game in itself. Yes. It's got everything. Oh, let's see. So this is the map that was on the inner cover. This is a bigger version of it. And then this is choosing stances, engagement. This is how to do combat. This is like a combat chart. Okay, very, very interesting. Before I play this game, I got lots to learn. So, there they are. Really excited about this, and looking forward to it. If you're enjoying these, please give the channel a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.